Greetings. My name is John and I run the Bricklink store all for bricks. This is going to be our introductory video on how we manage our inventory. The first things you're going to do, obviously at this point you've probably already created a Bricklink account, whether as a buyer or seller. And if you're moving into the realm of selling through Bricklink, that is going to be the first thing you need to do is get a good rating on Bricklink by a current buyer and then demonstrate your inventory to Bricklink themselves and they will approve you as a seller. In order to get to that point, you're obviously going to want to have already figured out some method of storing your Lego. Most people who are fans have already some sort of rudimentary process, and there's a ton of them out there that people will go over with. I'm not going to go over mine in this particular video, but it is certainly possible to uh, you know create your own. This is what I use. I have a series of small drawers, a series of medium drawers, and a series of larger drawers, and a series of bins. This can help manage small lots, larger pieces, larger piece counts, as well as projects. What you're really going to want to do is just figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. For adding inventory, you're going to have to download the software Brickstore. And the reason I like using Brickstore is because it allows me to manage my inventory offline and not while interfacing with the actual Bricklink store. It eliminates any potential crossover errors through either internet connection hookups or hiccups and buyers buying inventory while you're actually trying to upload inventory. Also, the tool itself, Brickstore, has some strengths in it that make adding inventory to an existing store so much easier than trying to manage through the actual store interface. The first thing you want to do when going to add inventory is to create a new file. In this particular case, you just click on the new file button. It'll bring you up one called Untitled, and you can name that whatever you want. I prefer to name mine. You can see here inventory update and then with the date. And if I do more than one in a day, I just append a letter. Once you have a file created that is going to take your new inventory pieces, you want to click on the Lego piece with the plus sign, and that will bring you over to the add screen. And this is where the strength of Brickstore comes from, and the primary reason why I use it as a tool is because Brickstore integrates with the Brickignize database. And if you're not familiar with Brickignize, you might want to do some research there because it is the easiest way to identify unknown bricks. At some point, I will probably do a tutorial on using the Brickignize web interface, but I hardly ever go there because it is integrated into Brickstore. The way you want to use Brickignize through Brickstore is through the camera here on the Add Inventory page. And this utilizes any webcam and it will take a picture of your part. This particular screen here shows the 16 by 16 plate that I've used, and I've built a white brick box for it. And let me bring up the shot that I have of it. You can see the webcam is just suspended above the white box, and it allows me to insert a part, and you can see the part here sitting inside there, and it sits right next to my computer monitor, and I can just handily throw anything in there, take a picture of it, and then the Brickignize database will tell me exactly what piece that is, and I can match that piece up and we can verify it's the same piece. The variations, it'll give you potentials, and some of them have you know extremely close variables. In this one it's pretty simple, and then we'll pick our color. In this particular case our color is magenta, and it will say part 15706, the right color. It'll give you a 3D model that you can use to examine if you wish. It will give you a description of what sets this piece comes in. In this particular piece, there's 4 of them in the Pop Star show. That is the only set that this piece comes in. So it's a very limited usage if somebody's trying to build that set. You can see here all the pricing information that is pulled directly from the Bricklink website. It tells you how many used pieces have sold in the last 6 months, how many new pieces have sold, and it'll give you how many items are currently listed for sale, their average sale price, their average listing price, maximum and minimum prices. When you select your color, in order to add this to your inventory, you're going to want to use the add button down here. You have the option to change the amount of quantity. If you have 20 of these, you can add 20. It can change the baseline price if you wish right here. I, however, always leave my baseline price at 0.001 cent. And there's a reason for that, and I will demonstrate that later. So if I want to add this piece, I go ahead and I click add. And now it comes over here and you'll see this listed on the untitled one as a new inventory item with a quantity of 1 and a price of 001. The strength for me of Brickstore is both the image recognition as well as the integration with my store inventory. This is a file I downloaded that contains my current Brickstore inventory. It has all the information as well as me, and what I use is the remarks field that gives me the storage location for all the pieces that I have in my store. When you import or when you add a new piece to your inventory update file, that remarks field is currently listed as empty, and it would be prohibitively difficult to go and find this particular piece through the Bricklink website in order to find out what that storage location would be, because that's a lot of back and forth, back and forth. But by downloading the store and downloading all the remark information, Brickstore has a tool called copy values from document. And what it is when you have multiple documents open and I hit copy, it says copy or merge values, items from an already open document. So what I want to do is I want to copy the remark field as well as pricing field from my current store inventory. And we do that by clicking next, and that'll give you all the different options of what to merge. Like if I had comments, it would put both comments and put them together. It will copy the price, it will copy the remarks, and if there's any sort of flags or stockroom information, it'll copy that as well. I usually don't use those, so it never copies anything there. But it'll copy my location and my current pricing, so I never have pricing conflicts because I am using my current store to copy the current price and apply it to any new pieces that I add. And I'm using my current store to copy the remarks and applying that to the remark field for this location. And that tells me exactly where this is at. It should go into drawer CA04, and then it'll have a 1 quantity because I only added 1 over here in quantity, and it copied the price currently from my store listing, which is 0.046 cents. And that is how you add an inventory. I'm going to run through some random parts here just to give a demonstration. So I will pull that one out. We'll pull up our camera so you can watch this as it occurs. Use my little brick separator to separate some of these. I'll put that one in. And for a part, just click on it. It'll do its scan and it'll say, there it is. And I click that and I have it in black. I have a 1 quantity. I add it here. And I come over and copy values from document, hit enter twice, and it'll tell me that goes into drawer GB08, and it copied the price right on over. And now I can continue on, provided I can get these pieces apart. So we'll change out the plate with dual axles, put in a 1x2 plate. I already know what this is. I'm not using this specifically to identify it, but I'm using it to bring it up in the add inventory screen. You know, I can already tell that this is part 3023, and most of you can do that just by familiarity. You already know what the part numbers are, you already know what they look like. but that's not the point of the image recognition, is not to tell you what the part is, but it's to bring it up here, and then you're able to copy it over. In this particular case, I have two of them to add, so I just click add twice on the single one, and it comes over here. Now you see that it adds two of them. I hit copy values. It tells me that goes into drawer FA06, and then I will add two pieces. Continuing on, we have this nice little arch piece. And that particular one, that is not that one when we look at it. It has 1, 2, 3 studs into there, so it's not that one, it'll be this one. So we click there, we scroll down, we click tan, we click add, we hit copy values from document, and it tells me that that part is in DC37 with a quantity of 1 for 15 cents. Then continuing on, we'll do this again, and in this particular case, we'll change that in, we'll put that part in the box, and there we go. And this one is light bluish gray. We'll add the light bluish gray one. We'll see if any of those are in our inventory. And if you look there, when we hit copy values from document, if there's no remark field and no price change, it won't find anything. This is telling me that I do not have 30000 in light bluish gray anywhere in my inventory. So this would be what is considered a new lot for my store. One thing that I do quite a bit is I combine colors. If I have small piece counts, I keep the parts together in the same drawer. So I will click over to my store, I will put a filter on it, and I will filter and look for 30000. And it tells me that in drawer E819, I have 10 of those in dark bluish gray, one in blue, and well, now I have one in light bluish gray. So I will add EA19, EA19. And then I need to then pull pricing information, which if we look down here, says last 6 months sales under used, average price is 28. So I can double click on that and it'll pull that up in there. And let us find one more, something that's interesting and shows the strength of Brickignize integrated through Brickstore rather than a simplistic piece. Let us pull the brick with axles out. And let's do something just a little bit more complicated, which is we have to get it to stand up. Sometimes this can be difficult. And that's why I like to use a little rubber ring on occasion. And then I will put the helmet in there and we'll give it a scan. Then we'll see what we have. And there we have all the different variations of the Stormtrooper helmets of this mold style, and sometimes a little bit of variance. So, looking at this one, there is minifigure, headgear, helmet, Star Wars, Stormtrooper, 2 chin holes, dark blue, and sand blue pattern. And that means down on the louvers on his jaw, those are dark blue, and then the trapezoid above by his temple, it is sand blue. And that does look like that's what this one is. So we would add this one in white, and this is a $3.25 helmet. We'll click over here into add. And in this case, we do not have any others. And so what I look for then would be 30408PB. So 30408PB, and I will find a common location. So I have one with the dark azure and not the dark blue. So there's a difference here. You can see that difference over here in this window. This one shows dark azure, and you can see the louvers are a different color from the dark blue. And it has a different temple style, which is flat silver in this one, while it's sand blue in this one. And that's the difference. And that's one of the strengths of using Brickignize, is that it will show you all the variants, and then you can zoom in on the variants that you need. So 30408 PB06 and 30408 PB09 are the two variants, but I will put them in the same drawer. So we'll put this into FB23, and then I will copy the price, the average 6-month sale price of $3.24, 25 cents. So doing this shows how easy it is to add inventory piece by piece. Generally, I don't add any inventory unless I've already done a large bulk sort, and I'm doing, honestly, 10 of these, 15 of these, 12 of these, 8 of these. I don't want to do one brick at a time because it just slows everything down. I will go and do a manual sort into bins, and I'll make a video later on that, how I do that. But I want to get my common piece type count up as high as possible before I enter them in. It just makes the amortized cost over time much more efficient that way. If I'm entering in 20 of these and 10 of these, so your interesting, your prices go up. That's interesting. It should go way higher than that. Oh yeah, 92. I'm looking at a 10th place. So I'm not going to upload these because I'm not ready for this, but what I am going to do is I am going to um, open up the recent file that I created just the other day to demonstrate how to open. Yeah, that's not fun. Oh, that's because I moved it. Let's go to open then. I changed it into the 2023 folder because I archived everything just earlier today. So December of 2023, here you can see all the different inventory upload files I've made it, as well as the copies of my store inventory over time. So I'm going to open up the 12/31/23 inventory file. This is all the parts that I inventoried in that particular day. And you can see this was mostly the category that I called modified bricks, which has all the different modified basic brick styles, how many different quantities, how many different prices. In this particular file, there's 605 different bricks and 181 different lots, and the total brick link value is $39. So what we do at this point in order to get this added to our inventory is we'll select all of the items in the file, and we'll go to here, which is called export, and we are going to do a mass upload on this file. There's a couple of these. You can make a Bricklink XML file if you want to. When you're inputting new inventory, you want to do an upload. When you're making an alteration to existing inventory, say I change this and put this into GB21, move the drawer for whatever reason, I would take that and then I would do an update, because you update something that already has a lot ID in Bricklink. This file does not have a lot ID yet because they have not been uploaded. So updates are things that already exist. Uploads are for new inventory. I don't want to change that, so I'll revert it back. So grab all of these, go and make a mass upload of new information. This interfaces directly with the inventory upload through Bricklink. So when you click right on that in Brickstore, it opens specifically right up into Bricklink. And then it actually puts it onto your clipboard. So all you have to do is paste in the text file. And if you really want to read it, that text file says exactly everything that you did. And then it just puts it into a text format, and that's easy for Bricklink to read. I always do consolidate lots by using the old price and old tier pricing, which is essentially exactly the same as what I did when I hit copy values. It's pulling and copying the old prices. Okay, so it's kind of redundant to do consolidate lots, but it consolidates old remarks, and these are variable. You can say, override, consolidate, and use the new remarks if you want to. But I just use consolidate old. And once you have pasted that in, checked what you're going to consolidate, you want to verify the file. Bricklink will check all of the text entries, And then this is what it'll show you. It'll show you everything that you're doing. So I'm adding quantity of one of these at 30 cents. Initial cost was 001, but that's just because that's what I input it as. And then you can go through here, and if there's any errors, they will be flagged in red. You can see this lot here. I'm uploading more of these. It'll be consolidated into the lot ID, which already existed in the store that has a lot ID. All of these have a BrickLink lot ID. These do not. So what it is making, by doing it this way, you don't end up with a duplicate entry, because this can be uploaded, but if it's given an independent lot ID, then in your BrickLink inventory, you'll have two different line item entries with two different lot numbers, and then you'll have two different quantities, but all the information will be the same. So we're just consolidating everything here. Once you have verified that there are no errors on all these different parts that you're uploading for the day, you come over all the way to the bottom. It says 605 items, 181 unique lots, and you hit upload file. And it'll go through, verify it, and they'll tell you file is successfully processed. And at that point, it is now added to my store inventory. So that is all there is to it. It may seem kind of complicated, but once you do it in small lots, to begin with, I recommend doing 5 at a time, 10 at a time. You get used to the process. And once you get used to the process, then everything tends to flow a lot smoother, and you really can add a lot of parts really, really quickly, and you can do it offline. This particular file here, sorry, the inventory file that I just saved, open recent. I worked on this for across 2 different days, but I finally did the upload today, and that's something that makes this tool better, is that I can walk away from this as long as I save my changes, and I'm not worried about losing any inventory changes in the BrickLink store if I was trying to do it directly from the BrickLink interface. This is not, to me, the best way to do it. This is so much better just because it allows you the safety to do things offline at your own pace and do it as you will. You can walk away, you can come back, and you're not affecting your actual store. That's all for now. Hopefully this was helpful, and look forward to more videos on how to use Brickstore. Thanks.